Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 193. My name is Jason Uppling. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and BuyandSellDVC.com.
And today is October 16th, 2024, which means the 11th month window from now is September 16th, 2025. And the 7th month window is May 16th, 2025. As always, you can find DVC-Rental at DVC-Rental.com. Remember the dash to save the cash, and Buy and Sell DVC.com for all your needs with selling your property or buying a Disney Vacation Club property. And on the buy and sell side of things, we're just going to go with a question that we had on the internet. I believe this was off of Reddit. I don't know if people go on Reddit, how often they're going on Reddit, but this was asked, I haven't purchased yet, and I'm already asking about selling. That is person, and they said, sorry, I'm just trying to cover all bases. If you don't mind, can you please explain the process of selling your contracts? Is this easy or complicated? I will tell you, it is a very particularly easy process. If you own a property, everybody on that property that's on that deed is still alive. It's a very simple process to sell that property. You can list it. You provide the point activity statement. We can find a buyer. You can get your documents signed, notarized. It can close in about 8 weeks. The person said, is this easy, complicated? It's very easy process. Does mine directly or indirectly impact on how you sell now? It does not, because everything just goes into you own Copper Creek. It doesn't matter if that Copper Creek was purchased direct or if that Copper Creek was purchased resale. It's now being sold resale. So it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter how it was purchased, or it doesn't matter if you're now the 14th owner of that deed. It just doesn't matter. We are looking at purchasing, but I want to look at all possible situations, such as needing to sell at a future date. I'm currently thinking we would keep them for 10 years. I will be 61 then. So, I mean, if you buy resale, of course, you're going to start out by having a lower initial cost than if you buy direct.
So, a lot lower.
So that is going to affect, if you need to sell the property for whatever reason, how you buy it is going to determine, whether or not you're making, selling it for more or less, or selling it for a lot less. But here's an example. If you're buying Riviera direct and you're paying $225, and then 10 months from now you have to sell that resale, and you can only, a buyer's willing to pay $129 a point. I mean, you're going to take, a loss on that property. So, but if you're someone out there that bought Bay Lake Tower direct in 2009, and you bought it for $95 a point, and now you're selling your property and a buyer pays $145 a point, that person is obviously selling it for more than what they paid for it. So, and then one last question, in your opinion, do you think you will get your initial payout back? Again, that's going to determine whether you bought resale or direct. On that answer, the points resorts I'm looking at will be an initial payout of $20,000 to $40,000. If I need to sell in 5 to 10 years, am I likely to get all that initial payout back? Again, that goes back to the same if you bought resale or direct.
Yeah, there's a small chance, very small chance, that if you bought direct, you'll get more for it. There's a pretty decent chance that if you bought resale, that it could have gone up by then. So much better chance. And if you don't mind me, I want to jump in one thing and say one thing, because I don't think we've ever said this before, and it just popped in my head, is that we talk about buying resale. This person's debating, do you buy resale? Do I buy direct from Disney? And I'm worried that a lot of people sit there and think you've got to buy direct because if you buy resale, it sounds shady, or there's something wrong or off with it. If anybody ever wants to sell their contract, you can only sell it resale. You can't sit there and have you can't sell it back to Disney. So anybody who ever goes to sell it, it has to go resale. So I mean, the resale market is the entire market that's out there. So it's not like, it's like a weird back alley type of thing. I mean, it's legally the only way that it can be done. We're a licensed brokerage. Jason's been a licensed realtor and broker for almost 20 years now. Like if anybody ever wants to sell a contract, I mean, this is the way it has to go. So I mean, this is a big market, and it's not like this is some shady thing. This is legally the only way it can happen. So it's 100% legit. There's nothing to be scared about. I mean, this is literally what all the brokerages do. Not just buy and sell. There's other DVC ones out there as well. Everybody, it's done legally. This is what's expected. So not to be nervous about. This is the norm.
And I mean, again, you're talking about something that resales are always going to exist for whatever reason, whether a person buys it and they just their family becomes less interested in doing the Disney vacations, or because their children have grown to be older now, they don't have time to come here. I mean, there's always going to be a reason that somebody is selling, so that there's always going to be, I can't imagine ever there being a time when there's 0 listings on the resale market.
It's like buying a house. People want to get out of the house for whatever reason. People want to get out of their contracts for whatever reason. And when you go to sell a house, you don't, the people who are selling the house, they don't go to the people who bought it and say, sell my house. They go to, a white girl or, a regular realtor like we are. If you want to sell your house, you've got to go to a company who sells it for you. You want to sell your contract, you've got to go to a company that sells it for you. It's the same exact thing, just as safe.
And now we're on to the food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
Today's food review is on the second page of this, which I hadn't pulled up yet. So I teased last week about the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium over at City Walk. And we tried a lot of food here because was my wife and I and our 2 kids. So we got 4 different meals. We got 3 different desserts. And then we also picked up 2 desserts downstairs in the little, I forget what it's called, but there's a little like takeout area where you can try all different types of stuff as well. But as I mentioned last week, really interesting area, lots of food shopping. First review we're going to do is what I had, which was this. I had it down to a couple things I wanted to possibly try out. I asked the waiter what he recommended, and he happened to pick this one. I said, I didn't even give him my options. I said, what'd you pick? And the first thing he picked was one of them that was on my menu, we'll say, the wild mushroom chicken risotto with truffle oil and a Parmesan crust for $23.95. He said he orders this without the mushrooms because he's not a fan. I'm not really a big fan of mushroom either, but I have mushroom risotto all the time. I don't mind that as much. I figured I'll just leave the mushrooms in there, and not a big deal. This dish was covered with mushrooms and barely had any chicken. Like there's probably 3 times as much mushrooms as there was chicken in this meal. None of the chicken had this Parmesan crust that they mentioned. It was just chicken, mushrooms, and risotto all mixed together. And then they put a little Parmesan cheese on top of it. I make a very similar one at home for my family. And truthfully, it blows away what they served me. There was barely any chicken, barely any flavor to it. Like chicken wasn't seasoned or anything like that. There was nothing. I was adding a bunch of salt to it. And even after that, the only thing you really could taste was like the mushrooms. Like it was not very good. I definitely would not get this again. I gave this a 6.1. And what's interesting is that of the 4 of us, only 1 person enjoyed what they ordered. Like, for instance, I'll do a review on this stuff, but I preferred one of my son's meals so much more than mine, but he didn't like his. Like nobody actually enjoyed what they got. And I always eat my food. I left more than half of it on the plate and just pushed it away, and I ate my son's meal because he didn't want it anymore, and that's what I focused on. But yeah, only one of us actually liked the meal that they got. So not a great showing so far, and you'll get to hear about that coming up.
And I do want to mention that I might be doing another food review in the future, because in September, my family, we made a trip to Chef Mickey's.
Really?
For breakfast.
Oh.
Have you been there? Or has it been many years? Wait,
no.
never?
I went I went to the kind of like the equivalent Goofy's Kitchen over in Disneyland. I've never actually been to Chef Mickey's. There's the little takeout restaurant right next to it, like the counter service, which I've eaten at a bunch of times. I've never actually eaten at Chef Mickey's. No, I've not. So I'm thinking going back, like, no, I've never actually eaten in Chef Mickey's.
It was a good time.
I am looking forward to hearing about that.
Good time. Had to eat the beignets far away from my table because of the cinnamon, but
Oh, that's right.
it was a good time.
And that was back in September.
Yes.
Okay. I look forward to hearing your review.
And now we're on to the DVC-Rental side of things.
This is actually it was a very busy summer. I forgot. Several weeks ago, I was invited on a Disney fireworks cruise with my cousin and her family. It was their anniversary, and they were nice enough. They're visiting from. They're now in Ohio. They were visiting from Ohio, and they invited us to come out on the fireworks cruise. So my boys and I went on it. Cruise left out of Grand Floridian. It's $400. It's on one of those pontoon boats.
Per person or?
Total.
Oh, okay.
$400 total for the boat, and you're allowed to have up to, I believe, 10 on the boat. And it lasts about 2 hours. It was a lot of fun. So it's the same type of pontoon boat that they have like when they take you out fishing. Captain tells you a bunch of like Disney stories, and like when they drive you around, they show you where all the cast members they throw when they leave, they throw their shoes like in the tree. Have you ever seen that? Or no? Yeah, out on the lake. There's one spot that has a tree with all these white shoes just hanging from it. It's like a cast member thing. I think that when they closed maybe River Country, the cast members threw all their shoes on there, and I think maybe sometimes they still do if it's like somebody who worked on the boats or something like that. But on their last day, they'll throw their shoes in the tree. So there's one tree that just has all these shoes hanging from it. But the guy tells you a bunch of trivia and stuff, which I from being in the Disney community, I know a decent amount of trivia, and I've heard some of it maybe like from like the boat rides with the fishermen, with the when we got fishing in the past, but lots of new stuff too. So they keep you entertained. He's driving around in the lake, which is a lot of fun. I like being on boats, and he's telling Disney trivia, which is really, really cool. Some of the things you expect when you get prime viewing from the Seven Seas Lagoon, unobstructed. You're not fighting anybody to get your a nice spot. Right before the fireworks go off, all these boats kind of like pull up, and they're all just waiting for the fireworks to begin. They've got the synchronized audio, so through the speakers in the boat, they actually pipe in the music, which is really, really nice, because otherwise you wouldn't hear anything. So you're fully immersed by yourself with the music coming in. It's a great personalized experience. I mean, you've got the entire boat to yourself, so you don't have to worry about. I mean, I guess you can always try to have other people join you, like if you wanted. But I mean, once you've got this boat, it's yours. Nobody else is going to be there. You're not worried that there's another family who's rooting it for you, or somebody's getting sick, or whatever it is. It's your private boat. You get whatever you want, and it comes with snacks and drinks as well. No alcohol or anything, but like little like bags of chips and bottles of like soda, Gatorade, water, stuff like that. I would absolutely recommend doing this. I had a really fun time. It's a very magical experience to be part of. That you're in this private little setting. Music right in your ears, not fighting with anybody, not rushing out of the park afterwards or trying to get on a monorail. It ends, your boat just literally turns around and just drives back. Definitely enjoyed it. I put it here. To book the cruise, you can call 407-WDW-PLAY. Again, had a lot of fun for $400. It's a great value, especially if
it's $40 a person.
$40. If you got a group of people, $40 a person for a 2-hour experience where you get snacks and drinks. You cruise around, get Disney trivia, everybody's having fun, and then you get your own private fireworks show. Absolutely worth it. I mean, if it's a family, or if again you get a bunch of your friends to do it, I mean, it's really, really hard to beat. We had a lot of fun doing it.
It sounds amazing, man.
Yeah,
I mean, when you start doing all these shows, you realize why this is. I don't know. Is it still the #1 vacation destination, or is it in the top 3?
I think I think it's always the number one. It's always like the #1 vacation destination. Sometimes they'll sit there and like somebody win a different park because political stuff, whatever. But I mean, this is where everybody comes. I forget who won it like this. I think like this past year, like some other park somewhere was named like, this is the best theme park. But I think they do like, 1/20th of the gate that Disney brings in. Disney's still the big destination, the big player around, the most traveled to place in the United States, like for vacations. I mean, it's the big boy. And it's sometimes it's not just the park stuff; it's outside little stuff that we talk about. It's the Vero Beach that most people don't know of, and it's doing these firework cruises. It's all these like little things that add up. That maybe even the casual Disney goer doesn't even ever consider.
I mean, you're really. I mean, I feel like in the last 4 months, you've really done a. I mean, you're holding up snook, holding up mangrove snapper. You're going to City Walk, partying with the 24-year-olds. Now you're on a boat, watching the fireworks, drinking Gatorade, having snacks.
You only live once, Jason.
I mean,
You only live once.
this is like quite the hurrah you're going on here.
I was a wild man. I was sitting on that boat drinking Diet Coke, watching the fireworks with my relatives.
This is quite the run you're on.
I'm
here.
hanging on golf carts.
Is this because your kids almost done with high school, and so you're just trying to soak up every last minute possible?
No, I don't think so. A lot of it is, remember, we had trips this summer that all kind of got canceled. So a lot of it was staying around doing more local stuff. So I think maybe that's some of it is
because I feel like skydiving is coming up next. That's the path that you're going on.
Not anymore. I'm not. I do safe stuff. I'm not doing anything too exciting. I'm too old for that, and I like my life and I like my family. I like everything. I'm not doing anything risky and wild. I'm going, skydiving sounds awesome. No, you know what? I'm not.
I just mentioned skydiving because they do it at the Sebastian Airport, which is right by the Vero Beach Air. It's like #1 in the world for skydiving.
Come on, taking my family out on a private fishing boat was as wild as I get, and that was fun. Though I'd do that again if I'm not sure.
Sorry, I cut you off though. What you were going to say was next.
I don't even know. I wasn't going to say anything. This was fun. Everything I've been doing is fun. It's just.
So what were you going to say though? What's on the horizon for the next type of trips?
No. I think what I was about to say was that I think one of the reasons that we did a lot of this local stuff is because we were supposed to be going away, and then my son got sick. And what it was is that my son had mentioned the other day. Well, it's been a while now. It was just when we were supposed to be going to Toothsome, and it kept getting rained out. He was so upset. He's like. He equated that reservation to like one of the vacations that we had to cancel. It's like everything's gotten canceled this summer, and this stinks. I'm like, it's just a dining reservation. We'll make it for the next week. But in his mind, just all of our vacations, all of our plans were just because of the hospital visits and sickness stuff. There's been a lot of cancellations this past summer. So maybe they're just trying to do a lot of more stuff just because we want to, because again, you only live once and you don't know what's going to happen, and it's just. Trying to do different things.
It's exciting.
And again, kids in junior, I got junior in high school and now freshman in high school. You only have so long with them, so I want to make sure that we do as much as we can as a family and have fun.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. So my Chef Mickey's visit, that'll be coming up here.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I recommend it. You got to put that on the list.
Maybe next week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll talk about next week.
Next week, yeah.
Maybe the week after, whatever. We'll see something the next week or two. Maybe we'll get a little Chef Mickey's review. That sounds good. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Again, check out all of our social media. Check out our podcast. Wherever you can find us. Leave us a comment. I don't think we said leave us a comment in a while. We appreciate reading the comments. We appreciate knowing that there's still people out there who are watching the show. But again, we greatly appreciate you guys. We know we don't have a huge following, but it's that we care about the people who are on there. So thank you very much.
And to the Bills fans out there, I appreciate you watching as well. Thank you so much.